And welcome back to the last episode from Here to Armageddon, the Phoenix Truth Rising show. This is part 31. We're going to fit it all into this last 13-minute episode due to the memory on my phone. But with that being said, let's get back into the teachings of Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, Izu, Sananda. 2,000 years ago, I told them to beware of false teachings, which because of their ignorance they might allow to arise, since some were greatly inclined to such, and it came to be. Man thinks he grows wise and changes wisdom to suit his desires and convenience. I warned them to keep everything which I commanded them, lest they falsify my teachings. God and the creation backed my words that day, for great lightning and thunder came down to underscore my intent. They were terrified and babbled their promises, which were not long kept at any rate. The light was sent from above, that I might have transport. The time was day, but the light could be seen as brighter than the radiance of the sun. I ceased to speak to them that day, that they might ponder my words and never be in the forgetting of truth. But it prevailed not. I ascended within the light, for I am of the light. I am light. It then came about the ones who watched a fog which swirled about as it was on the day of crucifixion. The thunder roared again, as mine source stood by to receive me, and the light ascended unto the heavens. So be it. Strange? No. And further, I shall return in the same manner, and most of you will stand and wring thy hands in chagrined realization. We have been fed the lie so long you can no longer even remember of the truth. Dharma, go child, 'tis enough for one bite to be chewed, one mouthful at a time, and we shall finally get the children fed. I adore of thee, and give blessings unto you. I move to stand by and wait thy summons, if you can receive again this day. I shall monitor carefully, for thy life is in upheaval. This property problem must be solved that we might move forward. The communication center of this portion of thy known sector is here, and will be protected. Who will make the final step of security? So be it. I await. In total love and acceptance, I await. I am that I am. I am one with the creation and God in perfection. Who might you be? And even in this one, 1990, is not the entire world at the point of the mass warfare over the areas of the Middle East? It's still going on to this day, with the Zionist serpent race infiltrating all world leaders and heads of state. But on a higher note, let's take a look at this picture that was given. This reproduction is from an actual photograph taken on June 1st, 1961, in Chichen Itza, Yucatan, by one of 30 archaeologists working in the area at the time. Sananda, the new name for Jesus Christ, appeared in visible, tangible body and permitted his photograph to be taken. Now, I guess that's up to your faith and understanding, but it can be verified in 1961 if someone can do the research. So before we get into creation, the sacred universe, and a lot of the spiritual teachings of spiritual consciousness, of Christ consciousness and understanding that which is truly taking place, I'm just going to show you some excerpts and aspects of the more journals that are of the Phoenix source from Hatton, Georgia Sears Hatton. We have Sipupu Odyssey, and they called his name Emmanuel. I am Sananda. One of the real teachings about the true life that happened to Izu, Sananda, Emmanuel. Space Gate, the veil removed. Spiral to economic disaster, lifeboat measures if you act now. Okay, how to prepare for new currency solutions. This can even be updated with the new digital quantum financial system coming into effect. How we should all have a bit of physical silver and gold on hand, even some cash stashed, and maybe some other investments. Cryptocurrency could be one. The ISO 20022 coin list, can look up that. Not financial advice. And having said that, from Here to Armageddon by Ashtar, we just covered that in 31 parts. Thank you for your patience. I hope to move through the next 31 parts a lot quicker for the next journal we move into. Survival is only 10 feet from hell, a way of assuring your survival from any nuclear contaminants could be not only chlorella powder that detoxifies the body from heavy metals and radiation, but also being 10 feet of earth over your head that could be absorbing this radiation and keeping you safe. Having said that, let's hope that never needs to be done, but it's good to have one. Russia has one. China has one for all their people. Why don't we have one in North America? I actually wrote to the government when I was about 15 years old, almost 30 years ago, that I wanted to know why we don't have nuclear shelters, because I've known about this for over 30 years. And they wrote me back with such a, wonderful letter entitled that came from the Canadian government. I should bring that out and show you. But it was basically that we don't have anything to worry about. Right. Radio. And the next journal is the Rainbow Masters, the Magnificent Seven. This is a great journal to understand the truth, spiritual reality of different aspects of Christ consciousness. AIDS, last great plague upon the planet. Okay, this gives you the truth about how viruses are formed and how things are made and what's been truly going on. It even foretells the truth that Trump shall be president and has a chance to turn things around. He walks a fine line, and he can be either working for the evil alliance, or you can be just trying to be a good business person working with his enemy but not becoming his enemy, as Hatan has always said. Then we got Satan's Drummers, the secret beat of evil. This is one of the most satanic examples of how they've used children and blood sacrifices. It says right there, babies, children, animals, to satanic cults. This has been going on for years. We don't want to keep our heads in the sand about this all the time, but be careful where your children are going on different holidays that happen throughout the year, especially Halloween and even around Easter time. Then we have Privacy in a Fishbowl, which is basically talking about how using corporations are really good for you. Cry of the Phoenix, Death Rattle of Freedom. Okay, more into what's been going on with the Constitution, how they've been taking it over, and the Bill of Rights, especially in the States. And where the States goes, the rest of the world goes. So they're the last bastion of freedom upon the planet. May we take that into consideration, everyone, and remember the Constitution of the United States of America should be your own saving grace. Called Crucifixion of the Phoenix. Okay, this all goes into what's truly going on in the world and how we've been taken over by Satan's plan. We got Skeletons in the Closet, another one of the understanding how the United States have been taken over and the Soviets and the war with them. This has turned into a police state. Okay, if you watch the movie or the documentary to the movie The Gray State, Gray, and what happened to that gentleman that put out that movie before COVID, just take a look at that and prepare. And remember, we have some of these journals available for me to ship out to you. Just look down below. If you're able to give a donation on, that would be very helpful. The shipping costs to the States are a little bit more expensive. Across Canada, a little bit less expensive. You can email me, ask me any question. So next we have Rape, Ravage, Pillage, and Plunder of the Phoenix. Okay, this is what they've been doing to us for years. Rape of the Constitution, Death of the Freedom. Okay, that's volume 2 of RRPP. This is what the Bolshevik Khazarian barbarians have been doing, Mongoloids. Where did Genghis Khan and his Mongol hordes go? I wonder what happened to them. And they were all known about RRPP. That's how they took over everything. Another journal is The Naked Phoenix, How, Who, Why, Where, and That, What, and When the Bird Was Plucked, a guide to do-it-yourself feather growing. Okay, Hatan has a lot of great way of humor, but very much too blunt and to the point with truth. That is like a 2x4 hitting you across the head at times for you to wake up about what's been going on. The Federal Reserve Board being one of the greatest enslavement plans since 1913 when they took it over on Jekyll Island on December 24th when all the congressmen were away. And we have the next journal, Blood and Ashes, You Sleeping Children of the Lie, Who Now Hears the Phoenix Cry by Georgia Sears Hatton. Okay, back to the Zionist plan to win world domination through an American nuclear first strike on Russia has not been abandoned, even though Russia has thwarted several attempts. Okay, so they want to fulfill the prophecies as written down because they want to make it happen. This is man's destruction, not destruction by a God of benevolence and creative powers. God is all creative. He doesn't need to destroy. And I'll leave you with this to consider about From Here to Armageddon. This is great words of advice. Firestorm in Babylon, The Time Has Come by Georgia Sears Hatton, another journal. History is repeating itself in ever-shortening cycles. It is he who can learn from history who will prevail. This book is a review of the several attempts to start nuclear war one during past 10 years and how that relates to the current September 1990 Middle East crisis in the Gulf. Another crisis over there. The world teeters on the abyss of total all-out nuclear war. The military bases of the U.S., foreign and domestic, have been stripped of men and equipment, and the news media is controlled by political and financial cartels work diligently to obscure the truth. Hence NATO, and they want Ukraine to join NATO and then have borders right across, or Norway to join NATO and then have borders right across Russia, so they can show that they're at force with Russia. So that's going to pose a nuclear war to come on. Okay, for you who stand in truth, there shall be peace in the valley for you. God extends his hand. He has again sent his Son, and the hosts afore him. Who will take of his hand? Who will then take of thine brother's hand? Okay, and the last journal here to be presented, the Mossad Connection. The Mossad is, it's the CIA of Israel. Okay, by Georgia Sears Hatton again. Americans, to understand how their constitution and nation are being stolen from them, and who is doing the stealing, must understand the Mossad Connection. The 13th tribe of Israel, now self-designated as Zionist, is in control of both Israel and through its political influence over some 60% of the U.S. Congress and its working relationship with the White House and United States of America. Remember, this is about 35 years ago. The book identifies these connections and clearly outlays the only potential successful course of action open to the people of America to regain control of their nation. So with that being said, may we all regain control of ourselves so that we're not possessed by satanic over evil forces and desires, and wake up to the Zionist 13th tribe of Israel, how they've taken and been serpents and wolves in sheep's clothing all this time. That being said, Spaceman 2.0, back with the creation story, and